Hey, welcome back to the shop. Been a little bit, thought I'd catch you guys up on a little bit of the car and how things are progressing and moving along. Crazy, lots of other things, of course, always going on in life. I wish the shop was like a second job. I'm gonna start calling the shop the nooner because I never make it out here before noon, regardless day off or not, no matter what time I get up. It's all right though, first world problems, a lot of stuff going on. The car, moving along, looking pretty decent. Got the front bumper mocked back up. Ugh, I'm gonna have to cut it. We all know that you usually have to cut them when you put intercoolers in anyways, but it's definitely gonna have to be cut. It's on, intercooler. I tried putting the biggest I could. I could have went up a little bit more, but then there'd be absolutely no structure whatsoever for reinforcement for the core support for the actual hood close. I kept a little bit of the integrity of where the bar comes out and comes down. Right here basically where your hood latches is pretty much about where this bumper's at. I left it across over, I'll throw in a picture on there, how it comes across over to the actual reinforcement. So this is it. Like you see, it's right here on the tank on the edges. This side still needs to come up just a little bit, probably about right there, but it's pretty close. That's about where it's at. Unfortunately for your boost tubes coming out, I just don't think that's going to work to leave it. Get you a little closer look here. So looking across, like I said, a little closer view, so you can see where that tank sits across there and the mounts. It'd be nice if these were flush, but you really can't with that tank. I'm not going to mess with it. That way it kind of keeps it under warranty for that. I just mounted up through here, used some clips in there, see for it to focus, just some factory OEM Volkswagen clips and bolts. I try to stick with all Volkswagen stuff on everything that's not factory that I'm bolting or making with my extra bolt pile over there. That's kind of where that is at. Intercoolers in. Like I said, I'm going to start today to come across to do my hot side across over and up under and over that way to the turbo. There's where the down pipe will come across over and out down through here. That'll be a blast. Bring that over down. I bought, like I said, the J pipe for that to make that. That's on my list. Goal today, do the hot side, get my down pipe done, all my sensors, my EGT up top, all my O2 sensors. That would be nice. I'd be happy to at least get that far today and get that back. I don't think I have quite enough pipe. It'll be close. May have to run down to Brian's at Muffler Mart and pick up some stock pipe from him to weld into that. I'm going to try to TIG most of this. I've been working on getting my TIG welder set up a little better, trying to learn as much as I can. It's frustrating. It's definitely not laying a bead on a MIG. Other part, oil cooler. Come out, I think. I'm going to put it over here. Kind of my goal. Wanted to be close to the vent, bring it out. I have a fan to put on it too. I need to see where this crash bar for underneath is going to sit, this skid plate thing. See where it's actually going to sit. When you're looking back this way down the car, with those Black Forest Industry mounts in, that oil pan does sit a little bit higher. It's still, I mean, I'm happy with it. It's still, when you look at it, let's look from the side. When you look from the side, everything's pretty much level, right? So then you come across and then it just slowly goes up. At least it's somewhat happy. Where it's going to sit when the car is on the ground, this of course will sit a little bit lower. How that's going to sit on there will be interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much where that's at. So that's where I'm going to start today. Hot side, down pipe. Start mounting brackets for the oil cooler. It would be easier to put it on this side, but I think with this hot side pipe that's going to run pretty much parallel right here all the way across, I don't know. So I want to get the hot side and down pipe done first before I start doing the rest of it. So here we go. I'll give you guys a little bit of time lapse and then catch up with you guys here in a little bit. Hey guys, and welcome back after a little short break there. Hey, I had to go and redo and make my own clamps. I'm not going to wait for shipping, and I don't know anybody locally that would have them, so I made some of my own. I basically took and where the factory's tack welds were, or here, is I drilled right in between those, all three of those, and that was my reference for my new hole to make these smaller for the adapter to downsize it to come in out of the pressure side out, and then it'll come from here and down. I had another piece that I was trying to get to work. This was an old intake off the car when it was naturally aspirated. It's close, but it would work if you didn't have the wastegate right there. It's close, but I didn't like how close it was, and it was really shoving hard on the AC unit. But so I just redid this. I had an adapter to reduce it down. Made one already, made another one. So I just drilled the hole there, slid this slide piece back over the loop. So it's just like an OE factory clamp was made, and then just re-TIG welded it down here where I looped it over. Getting a little better with the TIG welder. It's definitely going to take some time, but got that. So I just broke the welds loose, looped it over, drilled a new hole, put the bolt through, and then ran that back through there, looped it over and tack weld there. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And I'll put it all back together, set it on there. I did buy some nicer ones. That one down there is actually like a heavy duty name brand one on there, so not worried about, hopefully that won't come off there. But other than this not being barbed out like this, hopefully I use some 60 grit on here to make this really nasty. Hopefully it'll bite and grip with the silicone and the pressure to hold that on there. I've seen worse holds, so hopefully this AM fitting shows up today. Finish this down to my catch can down there that I mounted. After I get this part here done and down, I'll go over with you a little bit, guys, on what I did and what I got caught up, because there's a bunch of other stuff in here. I was just excited to start this today. Didn't really think the video through. My apologies. Excited, but here we are. All right, let me get this on, and then I'll get back to you guys. Hey, guys, and well, today is now 2 weeks later. Life's been really crazy, and things have been a little bit behind in the shop. So here we go. Here's where we're at now. I picked up this intake as I knew that time was just kind of getting a little close for the event. I want to be able to take the car to Leavenworth with me, so I ended up picking up this intake, $600 shipped, a little more than I wanted to spend, but definitely worth it, quality intake. So I got a hold of that, and as soon as I started doing some research on it, I know that there's a big difference on a BDF motor versus the R32, excuse me not remembering the engine code on that. Made my own bolts, the OEM ones, I found them. They are a little bit different thread than everything else. Cut and retapped all those, got those made. Hand tightened in the intake on there to kind of mock it up to figure out the rest of my hot side on that. Got that on, and as you can see in the picture, the big difference is, and I'm really not understanding on this part, but this one bolt is completely different, as you can see in the picture on there. Once I get that back off from mocking it up, I'll re-drill that bolt out and make like a, and then I'll have that piece basically tapped out for a thread flange. Here's a wastegate muffler exhaust idea I had. I don't know if I'll keep it or not. Next I mocked up and basically bolted in and threaded and got everything tight on my oil cooler. I'm really happy with the location where it's set up. It's steady, it doesn't move, the fan mounted well, and everything works in the spot. I'm happy the muffler, or I mean the actual bumper will fit correctly, and the mouth on that side will actually breathe air through here. As far as this goes with this fan, what I did with this fan is I actually ran the relay to it from the original secondary air pump, and I used that relay, and then I'll just cut that actuator pin wire to the computer and use a pin wire to an exciter wire from the fans. Hopefully that made sense. And last but not least, here we have basically what turned into be a huge nightmare. I had mocked up and had already put in this oil drain line Yeah, it ended up breaking, welding itself to it, so I ended up having to go down, get some custom fittings, weld it all into one piece, and bolt it back in. Everything is super close, but I am happy, and it looks great, and it should function well. Really close, but efficient. So that's kind of where things are at right now, guys. So until next time, and I get a chance to catch you guys up a little more video, be good to yourself and each other, and don't forget, like and subscribe, please, and share so we can keep this going. I definitely want to get a little more in detail on the difference between the throttle bodies. So next time, we'll see you.